and this is gonna sound super simple, but I really needed to hear it from someone else. This person told me, like if you don't do it, it's 0. But if you do it and you didn't do it perfect, maybe it's 80, but at least you did it. And doing 80 is better than 0. And that, to have it like that, framed with numbers, 0 versus 80, it was such a oh my God, that's so much better than not to do it at all, because I don't believe that it's going to be perfect.
Hey everyone, Reyna Torres here, and I'm super excited that we have arrived at season 2 of the Women Creating Magic podcast. I run my own creative studio, and I wanted to create a platform for amazing women to have real conversations about our experience in the entertainment industry, and just talk about that moment that we decided to take control of our lives as women. A safe and open space to sit down comfortably with a cup of tea or a glass of wine to relax and have an open conversation about their experiences as women in the entertainment industry. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, comment, and leave a review, because all of that will really help us out and keep us going. Today I spoke with Laura Urgelles. When I speak of her, all that comes to mind is a beautiful, peaceful, graceful woman who lives life truly to its fullest. We had a very intimate conversation, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I welcome you, Laura Urgelles.
It was a full-time job.
It's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I love ballerinas.
Yeah, it was a beautiful life. It was a challenging, don't get me wrong.
No, yeah.
But it was beautiful, and I don't think I realized at the moment how I was kind of living this dream thing. I'm just living my life, but sometimes I'm looking back now, I'm like, wow, you lived the dream of being a ballerina. You actually did it.
Yeah, you did.
And that's amazing.
Yeah, because for ballerina, I hate to say it, there's a point where, you can't go any further, because it really does take a toll of your body.
Yeah.
It does.
Which is the reason I retired. I was in pain,
arthritis. Yeah,
so
it's
pain.
all that's at joints. It really takes a toll. People don't know that. It's tough. It's tough. It is. It's super tough.
It's very athletic. It takes hours and hours of repetition.
Yeah, it is. And then after that, your yoga, and you're just like, I'm gonna pursue this. Close your yoga business, basically.
I was I did a play while I was still doing the yoga studio, and I was still taking classes, but it wasn't full on, right? It was I always, and the yoga studio took a lot of time. It's a business, so you're running a business. It's 24/7 basically. I had some help, definitely, but at some point I realized I'm not doing what I really want to do. I really want to pursue this career. This is a passion. This is something I love.
And then you came to California.
Came to LA,
yeah.
in 2017. Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. That's the pinnacle point of turning into this.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah, because you've done a lot. You've been around. You've done a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you're such a great actress.
Thank you.
I love the way you do your work.
Thank you.
What do you, how we were talking about earlier, those moments that we are constantly debating in our life, we're constantly thinking about what's the next step. Do I even have a next step? What's going on with that?
I mean, the next step is
the
just...
People, there's barks, so just enjoy.
The next step is just keep going, keep doing the same thing that I've been doing, or even doing more, submitting every day. I still don't have a theatrical agent, so it's self-submitting a lot, doing self-tapes, doing auditions. Today, for example, I had a call back, and it was a lot of fun, and sometimes I'm not super happy with my self-tape. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I could have done a better job. Today I was very, very happy, and the other day I was very, very happy. So when that happens, it's very rare.
Yeah.
I always want to do better. I'm like, they could always be better. But that is basically it. It's just keep going. Not to give up. Because there are those moments in which I find myself and I'm like, wow, it's not happening yet. I'm not it's not paying for all of my bills right now.
How does that make you feel?
It's scary.
Yeah.
And also because I feel that I have as a point of comparison the fact that when I was a ballerina, that did pay for my bills,
Mm-hmm.
and that was all I did. So having that as a point of comparison, is hard, because that's what I would like to see me doing.
Mm-hmm.
Have acting to be my life and not having to do any other jobs. And but I do know that is the only thing that I can do is keep going no matter what. And if I have to take other jobs, it's okay. I just take other jobs, just keep going. I'm not gonna lie, there are days that I'm like, are you sure? Like, what is plan B? Or like, I'm older now. I have a lot of other things to think about, and I do want financial stability, but it's just really hard when you have something that you really love so much and that you really want to do. Then it's like it's hard for me to say no to the dream of doing that, of doing what I really love to do. And I've always, all my life, I've been someone who has really not said no to the dream. I didn't say no to the dream of being a dancer. So I don't see myself saying no to this dream.
So it's really hard too, to kind of just, like, it's hard in general when you're trying to pursue the stuff, the dream that you want to, because there's those moments in our lives that we just feels like we're alone. Like, nobody understands what we're going through. And there's a pinnacle point for us women that there are moments where we think, she doesn't know what I'm going through. But we kind of do. We kind of do, because it might not be the same situation, but the thought process is the same. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure there are nights that you go to bed and you're just like, what the heck am I doing? Why am I here? Like, what am I doing this? When you get to those spaces, what do you do to kind of get out of it?
I mean, first I feel that I'm lucky in the sense that because I do have an acting community around me, we sort of support each other. And then when one person is up, that person supports the one that might be down. And I mean emotionally, right? In those places in which you are having self-doubts. So I feel that we do that with each other, and having that is very helpful. But then personally, I think I have gotten into a place, and for a while now, I think it started maybe with yoga, but other spiritual practices and reading and people that I have met and communities that I have come in contact with, in which I have started to develop my own practices of meditation and affirmations. And I know that it might sound sometimes that it's like, oh, does that really work? And the truth is, like, it can help you a lot. And for me, it does help me a lot to go into using those tools in which, like, I can come from a place in which I'm not feeling so well, I'm not feeling so confident, and I can just sort of reclaim that self-trust and that trust almost in like this divine plan that things are going to work out and I am going to be protected.
It's the energy that you're shooting out there. Yeah, because people know, like, that's what you're, like you told me earlier about, like, reach out to do, like Meryl Streep, and I was just like, just put it out there, because you're gonna get there. And I'm like, part of me is sort of like hesitant, but at the same time it's like, no, there's nothing to stop me to think of that. There's nothing to stop me to, like, all right, we're going to that direction. And even in that moment, I was being negative about it when you had mentioned it, because even in the moment I was just like, nah, but you never know. You just never know. And I feel that we in those cases we are creating our own limits, and that's just the way it is. I mean, we don't know.
what people are going to respond with. We don't know what people are going to say. And the answers might be no, but the answers might be yes. Or maybe it's not today, but in 3 months it's yes. So...
do you think as women our limits are not that it's not reachable, but do you think as women when we put limits it's extra?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think as women we worry a lot.
Oh, I think so too. I was just talking about that with someone, and she was saying, she was telling me, like, why do I, like, at the end of the day, why am I so mentally and physically tired after work? And I told her, because you're analyzing every little thing, and that's what we do as women.
Yeah.
Like, we literally analyze the conversation that we have, and then we go to conclusion thinking, wait, did I mess up? Was that a natural response from the other person? Wait, was that okay? Like, oh, I think I messed up. Oh, no, I don't know. Wait, were they okay with that? Like, we're analyzing the whole scenario in our head, thinking that we fucked up, to be honest. That's the point. That's the thing. We're not thinking, like, that was positive, that was good. When it's positive and good, for us as women, we're just like, cool. Push it back here. Cool, we're good. I feel settled. But when it's something negative, we tend to, like, analyze it too much.
Yeah.
And we take that back home or to our safe space. And like you were saying, like, we do tend to think about, and we're emotional when we think about it too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
We think about it too much. We self-judge. We worry about exactly what you said, you know, what we said, how we said it, did we... and, I mean...
That's strain. That's strain us, like, completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sure, like, there are days when you done filming, and you go home and you're just, like, analyzing everything that went through, and you're just like, did I do a good job?
Totally.
Right?
Absolutely. I do that. I mean, I do that with everything pretty much. I'm like a perfectionist, which is not a good thing, and I didn't realize how much it was affecting me until I did.
Well, you're a ballerina.
Yes.
That is why you're a perfectionist.
Yes.
Because ballerinas, you have to hit the point.
Yeah.
And if you don't hit it, guess what? You're messing up. You're behind the class.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you literally can fall on your head or in your butt.
Yes, you can.
If you don't hit it.
If you don't do it correctly, it can injure yourself. But in the same time, it's competitive.
It's very competitive.
So if you show weakness...
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but ballerinas, it's great when you're with companies, but it's still the competitive.
Very competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and you're always in front of a mirror. So, like, literally, you're looking at and trying to fix and trying to get better into every little thing of everything, your body, your hair, your eyelash, your technique, like everything.
And that's why you're a perfectionist, and that's why at the end of the day you're like that. What has helped you kind of like tone that down?
You know, someone told me once, because I'm one of those people that sometimes I know I have a task, let's say, and I want this task to be perfect. And because it's not perfect, then I'm like, well, I'm not going to do it until it's not perfect. I'm just not going to do it. And this is going to sound super simple, but I really needed to hear it from someone else. This person told me, you know, like, if you don't do it, it's 0. But if you do it and you didn't do it perfect, maybe it's 80, but at least you did it. And doing 80 is better than 0. And that, to have it like that, framed with numbers, 0 versus 80, it was such a oh my God, that's so much better than not to do it at all, because I don't believe that it's going to be perfect. And that really, like, reframing that, the way that person said it to me, and I was finally able to see it in a different light, it really, that's what helped me the most.
Yeah.
So I always try to remember that. Well, okay, I know you want this to be perfect, but if you don't finish it, even if it's not perfect, it's not going to be anything. So why would you prefer?
0 or 80?
0 or 80.
Yeah.
And that is what helps me the most with that, remembering that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's sort of like, don't start, you know, for me it's like when I start something, like example for a hike, and it's going to be a hard hike. And even though I know it's going to be a pain in the ass, I commit and I do it. And even I'm like huffing and puffing in the end. I'm like, nope, you're pretty stubborn. You're going to finish at least. And in the beginning, I'm like, I really don't want to be here, but I guess I have to be here. And I'll do it. I'll stick to it. There's one time, the perfect example would be my friend German invited me to do cycling. And it was a night cycle. And I was like, sure, I can do that. I don't think that's going to be hard. I got the wrong bicycle. It was a mountain bike. It was meant for dirt, not cement, not street. So that made it a little harder. And it was from Montebello to downtown LA. Montebello has a lot of hills. It's not easy. So I had to stick it through and cycle from Montebello to downtown LA. When I got there, there was like this outside restaurant, and I was like, I want 2 burgers, 2 fries, and a shitload of soda to like bring up my freaking sugar. And I cycle back downtown to Montebello, and it hurt. Oof. Oh my God! Because I don't cycle. I don't do that. Something I completely don't do. It hurts so much, but my mindset was like, you said yes, you better start and end it, whether you like it or not. You're gonna have to stick to it.
I mean, it takes. I think what you're speaking to is the commitment and the discipline.
Yeah.
To finish it up,
even though if it hurts.
Even if it hurts. Like that's the thing. And I feel that that's one thing. I mean, especially with this career now with acting, mm-hmm. I feel that is like you need to make a choice that this is what you're gonna finish, no matter what.
Yes.
No matter when it gets hard, no matter when you don't get the part. Like there has to be that commitment. There has to be that tenacity.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's
and
impossible.
Whether you think you did, whether your mindset is thinking like, fuck, I messed up. Why did I say yes to it? But now thinking about it, now that was like, I was like 28 at the time.
Yeah.
37. I was like almost 10 years ago. It's good that I did that because it really makes me think about, wow, you really do have a standard. Your standard is once you start, you're going to finish it.
I love it.
And that's what it is. And you're going to finish it regardless.
Yeah.
And stick to it.
Yeah.
And that was a great, like, universal, like, learning lesson for me because it was sort of like, oh, okay, I know my limits. And my limits might be limitless sometimes because I just keep pushing it. Yeah. And that's what it was. Yeah. That's what it was. Same thing for what you're doing, too.
Yeah.
You're just like what you said. It's not perfect, but at least you didn't do nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah.
Because before, I'm sure you're like, if I can do it perfect, I'm not touching it at all. And then in the end, you're thinking like, well, I could have done something. That's good. That's a good thing. That's a good way to say it. I've never heard anybody say it like that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I have realized now is that also, what is perfect, really?
There's no perfect.
Like, there is no perfect. Like, if we really look at, like, creativity, like, the possibilities then are infinite. So there is no perfect. There is no you're never going to be satisfied because it's impossible. Because after you reach that perfection, well, then there is another step you can take for that perfect to be even more perfect.
Well, so Anthony said this really beautifully. He said, if we were perfect, it was about relationship. If you were a perfect person in a relationship, then what else is there? There's no growth. Yeah. It stops.
Yeah.
And what happens then? It's just vanilla the whole entire time.
It's the end.
Yeah.
Then it's the end.
Yeah, that's why we're not perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not perfect. We still have to continue.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, development. Mm-hmm. It's a development. It's one of the directors, can you say his last name? I butcher it all the time. The one he says he's a student for life. Scorsese?
Or it might have been Scorsese.
Yes. Yeah. So he had said that one of the things that he mentioned was that he is a student of filmmaking.
Oh, I love
Even
that.
though people consider him a master teacher out there, he's like, no, I'm a student. Like, basically, I don't know by word, but I get what he was trying to say. It was like, regardless of what age he is, he's constantly always learning. There's always something new. Somebody who does amazing movies, by the way, and direct them so beautifully,
Yeah.
is still saying that he's still a student. That just tells you a lot, that even if you are getting better at your craft, you should always take it as a, as a rice of grain, like how they say it, learn, because you're always learning something.
Yeah.
Because I'm always learning something every day.
Yeah.
Like, even
Yeah,
the
same.
prior to this, before I was working, I was an optometrist. And I knew everything. But every day, there's always something new. And I was like, oh, that's the new information. Like, let me stick that in my head. Like, let me learn more and more.
Yeah.
So there's always a constant learning in our crafts.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, because I'm sure, like, you've come up with, every time you do something new, you're always, right?
Always something new, and even about yourself. Like, I think one of the beautiful things about acting is, like, you're learning about the craft, but you're also learning a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
it's
when you're
almost
playing
like,
characters, you're also
Yeah.
tapping into something, a part of you as well.
yeah.
Yeah. What do you do, like, method acting, or?
So I study with Ivana Chabak, and she has her own method. It does take a little bit from that idea of method acting. You use your own experiences and your own life experiences, and your own emotional life to bring it and use it to create a character and to bring it into the scene. And it is something that, for me, it has worked very well, and I continue to use it in my work. And she actually has a book. It's called The Power of the Actor. I always say, and I said this before when I first I was studying acting in New York at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. I did an intensive there. And after I finished that intensive, I said this. And then after studying with Ivana Chabak and reading her book, I say this. I believe that every human being should take an acting class.
I think so too.
Yeah, and I think even her book, Ivana's book, I think everybody could benefit from reading her book. You learn so much, because I feel that what it does is, like, it's not just about you, but you actually learn and study how to connect with other people, how to listen and how to connect. And
Yes,
it really makes you a much better human being.
It does.
And that's what I feel that has had a huge impact for me.
I think that's great, because that's a balance.
Yeah.
That's like a good balance.
Yeah.
Wanted you to express about what you, not talk about, like, in details what we talked about earlier, because people of you guys, it was like a shitload of, like, oh my god, but I loved like, Laura, I can't believe she looks amazing, and she has been going through a rough time, but not like what you think, but I love what you said, what you do when you have really fucked up days. What do you do?
When I have really fucked up days,
You go to...
I go to... Oh, yes.
Now she got it.
So when I have really fucked up days, I love going to the ocean. I mean, so yesterday was one of those days in which was not a great day. It was a very challenging day.
Like, really bad. Yeah.
Kind of out of my hands, and I dealt with it the best I could. And I actually received great support, which I'm very grateful for. But then I went to the ocean. I drove to the ocean. It was very cold. So I put my feet in the water, and then I just sat there and watched the sunset. And it was so beautiful. I even got, like, you know how sometimes you get the green, that green sort of, like, light flash?
It is so rare. It's
so
something.
rare.
It's really
and I
rare.
was like, oh my God, I think it's going to happen. And it did, and it was beautiful. And yeah, it was just so calming and healing and just feel good. I always have this memory when I was a child of my mother singing this song in Spanish when we were on the ocean, and I have a twin brother. So we would hold hands, and she would sing this song, and every time I'm in the ocean, I hear this song in my head. En el mar la vida es más sabrosa.
Oh, that one? Oh, yeah.
Have you heard it?
Yes, I love that one. Yes.
En el mar te quiero mucho más.
Yes, my mom sings that.
So
yeah, my mom
like
sings that when we go to the beach. Yeah, that's so funny.
And
I'm just like
I don't know, it literally gives me a sense of happiness, and that, so it helped so much sort of change the way I was feeling, not just by feeling the water and being there, but just that feeling. I think it's like there is an emotional connection there too, that when I'm near the ocean or on the ocean, there is just that joy that my body remembers, and
you're also connecting with nature.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're centering yourself.
And I do believe now more than ever, really, that when the moment that you are connected with nature, with your feet on the ground, things change.
Yeah.
You do receive so much healing from the earth.
You do.
It is
because that's how originally Earth was. Like originally Earth, there was no buildings.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no cities like this.
Absolutely. And we're electrical beings, and the earth has electricity. There is a communication that is happening at that moment. And we've created a life in which we live in third floors and fifth floors and 30th floors.
Yeah.
And
we get
disconnected completely from
it.
We do
get disconnected.
It is incredibly important. There is actually a saying that there is a tribe in the Amazon. It's called the Honey Queen tribe, and at some point someone asked them, why do you think there is so much sadness and depression in the world? And literally their answer was, because people no longer have their feet on the earth. And I read this in an interview recently, and it was it created such an impact on me. I was like, yes, it makes sense.
It makes sense, yeah.
It makes sense. And we've forgotten how to be playful, and we've forgotten how to actually be on the ground and be the human beings that I feel we were meant to be.
Yeah. No, it's true. I was having a conversation in the morning with Anthony. We were driving, and I was just like talking about my daughter, how she has to get up early to school, and I mean, if I was me, I would be more ideal with school starting at 10, finishing at 3, because there's, children at that age, elementary school, they need that time to, just wake up and enjoy and eat breakfast and just be relaxed as they wake up. But nowadays, it's like, no, she has to be there by, she needs to be dropped off for school by 8:15 in the morning. That means we have to wake up, at 7 to get her ready.
Yeah.
For her to eat something. And then it hit me, and I was like, we've been literally conditioned from young to work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Because how did you say it, Anthony? I forgot how you said it. You're we already
we're in training.
We're in training. School.
Yeah.
It's we're in training
absolutely.
For a 9 to 5 job for corporate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm just you're kind of right, because I remember, I used to hate coming to, waking that early in the morning. And there was actually schools, in Switzerland, that they start off a later time. They have a different system of doing it. And I'm just kind of sucks that it's like this, because in public school, it's based on how many students come every day. And that's how they get their money, how they get their profits, so they can continue having the school. But it sucks, because we are being trained very young to be in a system and not remembering that how we originally started. It sucks, but that's why I always taking her out. She loves going to the beach and hiking. She loves doing all that stuff. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy when you say that, because it made me think about that right now.
Huh. I mean, it's kind of... we forget about that connection, and then we also forget about kind of our natural clocks, how we would work, because that's the other thing that that we sort of like forgot is like how to work with the cycle of the day, and like how the day starts and ends, and like how we do need a rest time maybe in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Like our bodies do get tired. Most people get tired in the middle of the day, a little tired. Well, there is a reason for it, and maybe people should be resting at that time.
Yeah, they should.
And then you get a second win, and then that's, you should be working again. But we sort of go against what our bodies naturally want to do, and we are in training, and we are, and then we self punish if we or self judge if we are not doing what we are supposed to do. Oh, I'm being a bad person. Oh, I'm being lazy. Well, no, you're actually feeling what you're supposed to be feeling.
Yeah. You get rewarded for things that doesn't need to be rewarded, like working 9 to 5 and doing overtime, and you get supposedly rewarded for it, and then when you're not doing it, you're punished. And that shouldn't be right. Like that in reality, it shouldn't be like that.
I mean, we should be listening to what our bodies want to do. We would be much more efficient if we work with our own sort of like.
See, I wish it was where, not to say that men don't get it, but like women, when they get their menstrual periods, like we should have like half a day to work and still get paid for it, because some women really go through really heavy moments where it's like very painful. I mean, I remember times where I'd be working and I would have to have a smile on my face, even though I'm cramping, I'm bloated, I'm feeling really shitty, my emotions are everywhere. And I'm like, I have to like stop all that for a moment and do what I have to be doing.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate that the society is sort of like that.
I mean, yeah, I agree. That's not something that even anybody would look at and be like, well, they are going through that moment in every month, and like, is there something that we can do to so that they can have a sense of like, okay, I'm okay, I'm supported, I can actually take care of myself during this time, have some self-care. But no,
and even if you ask like, I need to go home, I'm just not feeling good because I have my period. Absolutely. Really, it's just your period. And it's like I guess you never really had one if it's a guy or anything, but it's a pain. Yeah, it's a pain for everything like that. But I love your method. Like, you go back to nature, and you kind of just like reconnect. Yeah, which is good. Yeah, I had a photographer, Jamie, and she was talking about how she takes walks just to breathe. Just to be like, okay, I need to, like, I know there's problems going on, but I need to breathe because I'm not gonna move forward in this mindset. Like, at least let me like clear everything out and come back with a clear head. Yeah, taking that time is so important. Sometimes I feel that when you do that, it might seem that for some people it might seem that you're wasting time, because all of a sudden, I took 5 minutes or I took 10 minutes. But the truth is, like, you were able to reset, and then you'll come back and do better. Yeah, that's what it is.
And if you get going and grinding, and then like grind yourself to the ground,
you're making your availability is very thin, and then you're gonna break, and then you're gonna be like, I can't do that, and you're out, and that's the part where you don't want to be at. No. But I love your, because I do that. What you do to the beach thing, I do that. Yeah. And I like going, so for me, I like going to the dog beach.
Oh, so nice.
Because I tell people, it doesn't matter if you have a shitty day, doesn't matter like how messed up it was. You go there and sit down and watch these dogs. You're gonna smile. It's gonna make you smile.
You're gonna smile.
Regardless, you're gonna smile. You're gonna smile. I always, anybody that asks me, I'll be like, go to the dog beach. Trust me, go. Just do it. Just one day, be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to stick to it. Just go to the dog beach. Sit down. Just enjoy the moment, because it's really, I've had really hard moments, and I go there, and it just makes me smile. And when I leave, I feel a little bit better. I feel a little bit like, okay, that was a good move. Good move to go there.
I love it. That I know now the next beach that I'm gonna go to.
Yeah, no. If you go to it, it's so funny because you get to see them run around. They're being silly. They come up to you, and you cannot smile when you see cute dogs.
No, you have to. Yeah,
you can't, because you see all types of dogs. You see
And
oh gosh,
it's interesting because you're mentioning that now, and animals are very healing too.
Yeah.
They're incredibly healing.
They know when you're not feeling the best.
They know when you're not feeling well. They will cheer you up, and there's that. I mean that whole thing about a dog is your best friend, or what is the saying again?
Yeah, your dog's your best friend.
Your dog's your best friend, and I mean the truth is like they will help you feel better for sure. You will feel better with animals, dogs,
you do.
Cats, anything. Horses are incredibly intuitive. Like that's another thing that it's just a beautiful way to change a day into something positive and something
No, it's
good.
true. Animals are definitely a key of like calming you down.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's my next thing, I think, to get a pet. I would love to. I used to have a cat, but then my cat passed.
Oh.
But I haven't had a pet in a long time, and I would love to have probably a dog. Now I'm highly allergic to cats. So by now,
just get those cats that have no hairs.
That's true. Yeah, I could get one of those.
I think I want one. I
Yeah.
told Anthony I definitely want one of those. Like I want that kind of cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a cat roaming around my house,
Oh.
and I literally have conversations with this cat. And I'm like, do you not know we have a wolf in this house? Like, what are you doing here? You keep lingering. Like, I keep seeing you every day.
Oh.
Like, what are you doing? Like, it's just, like, you could tell, like, it's too scared to get near you, but enough to, like, just pay attention to you. And I'm like, you need to get out of here, because there's, like, 2 little small dogs, which I think you can kick their butts, but then we have a wolf. The wolf will eat you.
Wait, so you have a pet wolf?
So I have not a wolf, but it's a husky German Shepherd.
Oh, so beautiful.
So she looks like a wolf, you know. But the other ones are very small, Yorkie and a terrier, and they're very tiny. Like the cat can kick their butts, but my wolf, no, not my big one. And she's unfortunately had killed one time a kitten. So yeah, when she was younger.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, get out of here before the wolf gets you. But that cat keeps lingering. That's the funny part. He or she keeps coming around, and I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
You don't want to face the wolf.
No,
don't do that.
We had gophers,
no.
but the cats, there was a black cat that would get all our gophers, so it ate it. So I don't know what this one's a different cat. So I'm like, I don't know what you're doing. But even then, I kind of enjoy it because I'm just like, oh, a cat. Like, I haven't seen a cat or been around a cat for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I started with a cat.
They're beautiful.
That was my first pet, was a cat. Her name was Petunia.
Petunia.
Yeah. I started with a cat, and then I became dog lovers, and then we have 2 bunnies in the house, so. And then we're getting a gecko.
Oh.
We are co-parenting with Anthony and my daughter.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, because them 2 want a gecko because they both love a gecko. So we're getting a gecko.
I love it.
A leopard one.
It's interesting. I've never been a fan of reptiles. Ever. And I don't know why lately I've been so drawn to snakes.
Oh.
And then they keep popping up. And I've had at least 2 instances of events that have been in which they have had snakes, and I've actually lost my fear of touching them, and not only touch them, but like carry them and play with them, and such an incredible animal.
Yes.
Beautiful.
You'd be surprised. My daughter,
very nice.
Even a couple years ago, well, she was probably about 7 years old. Her first reptile convention, she carried a snake. An anaconda, like a huge one. She's not afraid.
That's awesome.
She's not afraid. And we went this year, and she was carrying this black one. And how was she? She was like totally not scared, huh? She was like...
That's amazing. No, they're beautiful
And she
animals.
likes tarantulas. And
yeah, that I don't like.
She liked like the baby snakes, the big one, tarantulas. What they both liked the most was the gecko. Yeah. So she definitely wants one. So now I'm just like, I have to like read up on like, what do we need? What do we need to buy? That's her Christmas present. Yeah.
I love it. Oh, yeah. That's amazing.
And then we're co-parenting with Anthony. So
I love
Anthony's the papa. And I'm going to say she's the mama because I'm not going to be I'm the babysitter. I'm the babysitter. I'm just gonna grab everything. You guys figure it out.
Good. How old is your daughter now?
10.
10. Oh.
I know. She's like pre-teeny right now. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do a podcast with her.
I love it.
It's gonna be
That's
cute.
Awesome.
I was like a Christmas special.
That is a Christmas special.
We are. We are gonna do it, but she wants to do it because she saw it, and so she's like, "Can I be?" And I was like, "Yeah." I told her I want you to be on it. She's like, but I don't know what she's gonna talk about. I think Anthony's gonna be
and everything.
I think Anthony's gonna be like Preston, and I'm like, oh,
no,
God.
Kids have probably the most incredible intelligence ever. Like they are so incredibly like attuned to everything, and then
it's gonna
we
be
grow up a little and we start like
it's gonna be interesting.
Oh, it's gonna be beautiful.
You're probably gonna be we're gonna probably be hearing Anthony laugh in the background a lot. Yeah.
I love it.
Where can they find you? Where can people find your work, what you do?
So
you're more welcome to see me or see the camera and be like, here we go, you can follow me here. Like follow this.
So I do have a website that is my professional website, lauraurgelles.com. And then my Instagram, everything really pretty much is my name. It's super easy, Laura Urgelles in Instagram.
Do you say Urgelles? Or is it con doble E? Yeah.
So I say Urgelles here because that's how most people pronounce it in America, but it's really Urgelles.
Urgelles.
So it's very and it has an accent at the end.
Yeah, because of the double L's.
The double L is like a Y. It's like a Y,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I was like, when you were saying it, I was like, is it Urgelles or Urgelles? Ah, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Urgelles.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce it, people.
Yeah. And that's where most of my things are. Any projects that I'm working on, or that usually I don't usually post projects that are in pre-production, but I'll post things that have already done or that I know that they're going to be
allowed to be shown.
That they're allowed to be shown. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Yeah. I sincerely hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. Thank you so much for joining us and listening. Don't forget to like, comment, leave a review, follow us on socials, and subscribe because you won't want to miss the magic.